How are you guys? It's been a minute. I thought I would jump on and have a chat because, yeah, it's been a while. I've had a little bit of a rest for the fake New Year. New Year, the real New Year starting in April, 1st of April, April Fools. Oh dear, how funny. Like literally everything's a lie, right? Even the new year. And then you got people outside setting off fireworks, celebrating the trails that are being sprayed on them every day. and the having to pay to live here. People celebrate it. And the next day it's exactly the same. Exactly the same as the day before. And it's not even the real New Year. Is there anything that's not a lie? Can you think of anything that's not a lie? Dinosaurs is a lie. Evolution is a lie. Gravity's a lie. God's a lie. It's just like there's nothing really that's actually true in this realm. It's just, yeah, I know you haven't seen me for a while, so I just thought I thought I'd pop on. I just turned my mobile on. It's like nothing's set up. I just turn the camera on and just see how you guys are doing. So let me know in the comments how you're doing, where you all are. South London Zeppa. Hi from Manchester. What time is it in Manchester now? It must be getting late. Was it like 11, 12 p.m? And I bet it's friggin' freezing. I don't know how anyone can live in the north of England, but credit to you. Some people like the cold though, don't they? Like I speak to a lot of people that actually like the cold. The only thing that I don't like about being in the heat is when you're sick. I don't get sick often, but when I do, there's nothing worse than being in the heat, because as you guys from the UK will know, it's 1:20 a.m. We've got a night owl on. Yeah, in the UK or in cold country, when you're sick or you've got the flu or something, you can just get like all cozy. You can get like a hot tea, and it's just nice, isn't it? But here, it's like you got temperature anyway, and it's sweltering, and you go out to buy some fruit or some orange juice to get some vitamin C, and it's just sweltering. It's very uncomfortable. That's the only time when I miss the cold. So what made you realize the world is a matrix? Well, I've spoken about this many times. It's boredom. I was so bored. I was working long hours in a corporate world, a high pressured job, manager. I hated being a manager because I didn't like telling people what to do, because I don't like being told what to do. Now I understand. Because authority is an illusion. I just did another podcast. I just come off another podcast talking about authority. It's really a bugbear of mine at the moment, because it's just such a... Don't forget to like the video, guys, by the way. We've got 33 on here. So yeah, basically, yeah, I was bored, and I was just like, is this it? Is this it for the next 50 years of my life? Like going in at 8, having an argument with my boss, telling people what to do, which, like I say, I hated. And I think because I knew authority was BS, I don't think I came across as a very authoritative manager, because I think I knew deep down that it doesn't really exist in nature anyway. Like I was telling people what to do, it didn't feel right. So I don't know if I was the best manager. I did get some good results. So I think I had other ways of motivating people. But but yeah, that whole idea of just telling people what to do. But yeah, anyway, I was just absolutely bored out of my skull, and I was like, there's got to be more to life than this. This is crazy. Is this it for me? You know, and intention's a very strong thing, because as soon as I started to question things, that's when I would stumble across information. You know how it's weird how it all gets laid out for you in like a tapestry, doesn't it? It's like, well, here's 9/11, that was fake, and then there's the moon, and then you go down that rabbit hole, and then there comes a very important moment when you start to stumble into like the new age stuff, and that's where people get diverted. They get diverted into the new cage, and they end up going down the whole kind of spirituality route, which then takes them away of their journey towards sovereignty, because then you get caught up in guides and angels, and you know, speaking to deities and all of this stuff, and there's all these traps along the way to divert you from reaching the goal of sovereignty, which I believe is the key in all of this. And so yeah, it was, and then when I realised that they were trying to kill us all, that's when you have a decision to make, don't you? We've all been there. Like, you're double checking yourself. Like, am I right? Are they? Yeah, there's poison in the food. Yeah, before you start speaking about it, you're like double checking. Before I come across as an absolute nut job, am I 100% right in what I'm saying? And that's what I was doing. I was double checking myself. Like, yep, there is definitely poison in the food. I've checked, and yes, I looked up the other day, and there's train tracks in the skies, and yet they are doing things with children. Okay, now what? What do you do with all this information? And yeah, for me, back in the day, I started off a Facebook group called Question Everything, and that's really what we need to do, question everything. And in this podcast that I just came off from, it's even questioning things that we think or we consider traditions and ancient things. You know, I speak a lot about chakra BS, and you know, because even things that are said back that are in old books and stuff, we're still a slave race, right? So how is this stuff, how is it helping us? Guys, we've got 49 people on the call, just 8 likes. If you wouldn't mind just taking 1 second, would really help me out. I would really appreciate just hitting that very quickly for me. Either that, or unless the stats are not showing up, because I can see people hitting the like, but the tally's not going up. So yeah, and I feel that's what we need to do. We need to question things, even if they're in old books and old textures, and you know, some dude on a mountain in Nepal or Tibet once said it. It's like they automatically feel, okay, that must be correct because someone said it on a hill in Tibet or something. You know, so yeah, that was it. I started with the Facebook group, and it was weird because I remember at that point everything changed for me. I broke up with everything needed to change. I broke up with my current girlfriend at the time. I moved to London. I was living in a small town in Essex, and I changed my job. I still changed to another corporate job, but step by step. And London was quite good for me because in London, because there's so many people, there's so many cultures, so many different beliefs. I felt like I could express my newfound self, because no one really judges you in London. And I wasn't really, you know, I was still a little bit, you know, self-conscious, perhaps had some self-worth issues and stuff, which I've had to work through inner work stuff. And but in London I could really express all my craziness, you know, because there were other crazies who had other different crazy beliefs, even though what I was saying wasn't crazy, it's actually true. And so that's what happened. It sort of went from there. And then the whole YouTube thing was really interesting because I was friends with a Muslim woman called Tara, who actually went to prison for a while for a Facebook post, actually, and she encouraged me. She was like, "Tony, you need to make videos. You need to put yourself on camera, because people will find you relatable. They won't find me relatable because I'm a Muslim woman." And I never thought of it. I never even considered it. And I remember the first interview I did were, sorry, this isn't about me, but you asked the question. You asked the question, so I'm answering it. There was one, she had an interview lined up, and then she had to cancel. She said, like, "Tony, I can't do this interview. Can you do it?" She'd like told me like 20 minutes before, and I was terrified. I was like, "What?" I was like, "I don't know. I just like, are you sure?" And I done my first kind of like radio interview, and it went really well, and that gave me confidence. But if you go back, oh my God, don't go back. My first YouTube video, you actually can go to click on the oldest. It's embarrassing. The first one I did, I was just doing a water fast, so I looked kind of really skinny, and I don't look I don't look too self-assured back then, but my heart was in the right place. My intention was always, okay, this is going on. I need to let people know. I need to tell people, and that's what I did. And then over the years, it's just gone from there. It's gone from one thing to the next, and of course, everyone thought I was crazy. I lost my original group of friends, but interestingly enough, some of them sometimes check my Instagram stories, and I think they're starting to see, low key. I think low key they're starting to see what I was saying might have been correct. And so yeah, it went from there, and I've had multiple fallouts with love of my family. I think it's been very challenging for them. I think they're used to me now, but I think back in the day they missed like the old me, I guess. And yeah, that's where it's led to. And then obviously I wrote my books, and then I fell into I knew I wanted to help people, heal people, and then I fell into the whole like finding out about entities and chakras, and I think all of this was kind of supposed to happen, and then it's just snowballed from there really, and it is what it is today, and yeah, to the day I die, I won't stop. It's for me, I just feel like I get a lot of emails and a lot of messages, but if I can help people move out of this, like internally, because it's all an inside job, right? If I can help them on their journey towards sovereignty in any way, when I get those messages just to say, you've really helped me and you've helped me open my eyes, there's a weird warm feeling that I get. I guess it's like fulfilling something, and I guess you guys get it as well, right? If you've had a conversation with someone and they come back and they say, "You know what you told me, it really helped me," that means the world to me. I really I love to see people grow and flourish and become the best versions of themselves, on all levels, and really shine their light on the world, and I think the more of us that do that, it's that's what we need to do to make real change. And so yeah, that's how it started. I was just bored. Absolutely bored out of my mind, stressed out of my mind. I think my health was suffering. I actually had a very clear insight come through that I would have a heart attack by the time I was 50 if I carried on. And I'm pretty sure that's what would have happened. So, excuse me. I'm just going through the comments. I'm grateful for the sessions I've had with you. Oh, that's lovely to hear. Um, should we be detoxing by fasting? Well, this is an interesting thing, right? So, yeah, absolutely. Not only from like heavy metals, but from everything. So, the last few days, I'm in an area of Mexico where the seafood's particularly good. And I do like seafood and I do like oysters. Anyway, I was a little bit of a pig because I went down to the beach on the beachfront. They were selling them fresh. I'm like, wow, they're like 300 pesos for 12, which is super cheap considering, like, if you compare it to Western prices, these had just come out of the ocean. And I'm like, I'll have some of those. And I sat there and I ate 12. Anyway, the next day, stomach issues. And normally people will, what do? They go to the doctors, they go to the chemists, and obviously I don't want to touch any of that stuff. First thing I do whenever I'm sick is stop eating. I'm like, I just stop eating, give my body a break to sort it all out, because your body always gravitates, its natural gravitation is always to be towards healing. It's like when you cut yourself, if you just leave it, eventually it will just heal. And so anyway, I think it was 48 hours that I didn't eat for, and gone, completely gone. And my skin's also quite, it's clearer. And so I would say you definitely want to, we should all be fasting. The thing is, we like the whole 3 meals a day came from like the Rockefellers. We shouldn't be eating we eat too much. And when you eat so much, your digestive system's always working. And so, when it's always working, it doesn't give its time, you don't get a chance to heal anything. So even if you did like once a week, I think it would be beneficial. But I did quite a long one. Quite a long one. So, and of course, yeah, with all the heavy metals and everything like that, it's good to get that out of your body. So, yeah, I think the whole consuming, it's why they call it breakfast, right? Break fast. You're breaking your fast. So they're actually telling you, and a lot of religions. I mean, I'm not religious, but they encourage fasting, don't they? So I think you can overdo it as well. You got to be careful with it. But I think it's definitely, it's like I say, it's the first thing I do if ever I get sick. And animals do it. Animals instinctively, when they get sick, they stop eating. So I think because we've been brainwashed into thinking that we need to go and see a man with a white coat and a stethoscope around his neck, don't we? That he knows better than our own body. That's why they call it look at the green language, the etymology of the word doctor. Your doctor, you doctor something, you change something. So, I also need to release the issues with health, but the doctor won't understand my own. I mean, the first thing I would do is I would do a fast. I don't know what issues that you're having, but we have to give our digestive system a rest. Yeah, absolutely. One meal a day. I think 1 meal a day is adequate. I mean, I was reading the other day that people only used to eat 1 meal a week. And it's weird because when you go into ketosis, you don't feel hungry. I mean, I stopped. I don't know. It was a couple of days, but I could have gone on. I lost my hunger. This is the other thing about becoming sovereign and becoming our own authority. And I think where there's a remembering of who we are, there's also a remembering of what the body is. And don't get me wrong. I think it's been tampered with, but I think it just, be your own doctor. I mean, of course, unless you break if you break your leg and there's blood gushing out, obviously you're going to need urgent attention. But even that would be concerning to me because I don't trust them. I don't trust that if I was in that situation, they wouldn't poke me in the arm with something, or do you know what I mean? It's just like, but yeah, so I fasted once for 7 days. Yeah. Yeah, I think on my first video, I think that was about 7 days. But definitely we should all be incorporating that in our protocol. Basically, I've done a 40 days. Wow, no solid food fast, just liquid, and I don't think much changed health wise. Okay, interesting. But 40 days, I mean, well, that's like over a month. When was the last time? I've been to the doctors for, what am I now? I'm 46. It must have been maybe not even my 20s, my late teens, 20s. Yeah, they might strap you down and poke you. That's my thing. That's what worries me about like the death process. It's like when you're in that situation when you're going to die, you're obviously at your lowest point. It's like, what does all this morphine do? You know, when you're, because you can guarantee they've probably planned it like it's going to have some kind of effect. But yeah, it's got to be definitely over a decade, maybe more. You look like you're 35. Wow, you're my best friend. Officially, you're my best friend. But yeah, I mean, I just do the obvious things. You know, it's like when they put the poisoning on the package, I'm like, okay, I'm not eating that. I'm not eating that. I might occasionally, I keep it simple, you know, eggs, meat. You know, obviously you guys know I went down the vegan thing and I got sick. Don't need to go down that rabbit hole again. But it's just the obvious things, you know, like not eating crap. I don't drink alcohol. You know, obviously I do a lot of energy work on myself and stuff. But and someone said to me on my Facebook, actually, like, because I was talking about this, and they were like, why do you care? Why do you care so much about your health? This is a hell realm, you know, what, like, just don't you want to die quicker and all that stuff? And I'm like, well, first of all, I feel like crap when I eat crap. When I don't look after myself, it makes me feel depressed, makes me feel like sad, and you know, I don't feel good, and I don't like not feeling good. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, I don't want, they want me, these psychopaths and these entities, they want me feeling shit about myself. They want me eating their poison. They want me drinking their alcohol and all that stuff. So when you're healthy, it's like a middle finger to the system, because that's what they don't want. We've got 80 people on here, 32 likes. Don't forget to hit the like, guys. So my thinking is they're trying to kill me, right? I'm a stubborn ass, right? If you want me dead, I'm gonna live longer, right? Just to fucking annoy you. So yeah, I want to feel good even though it's a hell realm. Exactly. And it's also, yeah, like I want to be as productive and as the most impactful that I can be while I'm here, even though it's a hell realm, as you say. And I'm not going to be able to do that if I'm feeling like crap and I'm unmotivated. And it's easy to get into that, you know. It's easy to, when you see what's going on in the world, it's easy to down tools and be like that guy. Like, oh, why do you know? I just eat what I want because it's a hell realm. Yeah, but it's easy to go down that road because that's a defeatist attitude to me. Who is trying to kill you? Are you new now, Mel? I mean, look up at the sky. I mean, where I am here in Mexico is terrible. I've never seen so many trails in the sky here where I am now. I'm in a place called Mazatlan, which is Sinaloa, right? It's really funny because Sinaloa is supposed to be the most dangerous part of Mexico, right? They tell you Mexico's dangerous, right? Because they don't want you coming here. Because when you come here, you realize how wonderful it is, how people have their own culture, and there's not everything's perfect. Don't get me wrong. And New World Order is definitely coming here. They definitely want it here. We've been told that we have to register our identification with our phone companies if we want a mobile phone line here by June the 6th. If we don't, they're going to switch off our lines, right? So it's definitely not perfect. The agenda is definitely here. They're spraying, right? It's not, but they still have, they just, there's just a feeling of there's not CCT cameras looking at you everywhere. There's not, like, they're not sending you bills for everything. All right, you get your electric bill and your water bill, but everything else, like, they're not fining you for, like, you just feel like more liberated here. But and they tell everyone Mexico's super dangerous. Yeah, if you're going to sell drugs and you step on the cartel's feet, yeah, that you're going to get a bullet in the head, no doubt about it. And that it happened recently in Tulum. Actually, last week there was an Argentinian that was selling drugs, and they took him in the toilet, annihilated and deleted. But other than that, the friendliest people here, I'm like, I can't believe it, because I've been traveling all through Mexico the last couple of months, and this was the only place I felt a little bit nervous coming from. Maybe because I was programmed, because you hear about the Sinaloa cartels and all this stuff. And like, I'm gonna go anyway because it's supposed to be beautiful, and the seafood. I love the seafood, and I got here nicest, loud, very loud people, like noisy music. It's the loudest part of Mexico I've been, which you guys know normally triggers me, but I've just accepted that it is what it is here. And but the people are incredible, and I got this they got like these old style cars that act as like taxis, and I got in with one the other day, and he was, what it's like when someone's like kind of says something, you feel like they'll be open to a more conscious conversation. He took me from A to B. This trip it was about 20 minutes. And he mentioned there was chemicals in the sun cream. And I'm like, wow, this guy's awake. Let's go for it, right? Because the place is so badly sprayed, I don't know what it is about this area that because, like I say, this is the worst sprayed part in Mexico that I've been. There must be a reason for it. And they're spraying out in the ocean and it blows in as well. And there's dark stuff, which I think is graphene. And so I said to him about the spray. I'm like, look at the sky. Look at that. That was spread, and it will make the sky white. And he was like, what? No, yeah, it's contra. I was like, no, it's chemicals. In Spanish, it's chemicals. It's chemicals, amigos. It's chemicals. Yeah? Like what? Like what you... I'm like, no, look. And I showed him the video of trails, and he's like, oh, Dios. He goes, oh, Dios mío. Oh my God. I was like, yeah, you need to tell your people, like the government, this kid wants you dead. He's like, see. But anyway, my point is that I was graphene. What is graphene? Graphene oxide. It's the stuff that they're putting in the poke in the arms. It's the stuff that I think they're spraying on us as well. And it's very nasty stuff. It's very difficult to get it out of the body. And it's kind of like... it constructs itself in your body. It's like it's weird. It's AI basically. And so yeah. But I was saying to him, I was like, I can't believe this place. Everyone told me it was so super dangerous, and he laughed. He was like, yeah, no, we're super friendly. I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, you're some of the friendliest people in Mexico that I've found here. And it's just funny how like the propaganda is like, they obviously don't want people going to certain places. So yeah, apparently Trump's going to bomb Mexico soon. I mean, don't even get me started on that. He's gone into. It's the same script, isn't it? There's always some boogeyman. Bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi. This time it's that whatever his name, Mal. I can't remember his name, but I lose track of all the boogeymen. And just so happens, and I've been to Venezuela, been to Caracas. The people there are wonderful. And just so happens Venezuela has the biggest oil reserve in the world. Wouldn't have anything to do with that, would it? And then all this propaganda out there of these videos of apparently these Venezuelans celebrating. You know, I've got Venezuelan friends, and they're extremely worried. No, this is the thing, and people suck it up. Oh yeah, but Tony, but the Venezuelans are happy. Okay. Someone's gonna bomb your hometown, right? Despite the fact that you have, let's say you have this dictator. Let's just say the story's true, right? Someone's going to drop those bombs. What are they now? They used to be Scud missiles, but I don't know what they're probably even more horrific now. Imagine someone coming to your town and dropping those bombs on your city, and you're telling me that you're happy about it. It's just like people suck up the propaganda so easily. Like, these people are crisis actors. They've probably got a group of Latino men and women. They've paid them a certain amount of money. Say, look, can you just pretend that you're happy about it? And then they put it all out there, and then people just suck it up. There is no way that you would be happy about bombs falling on your city or town. But Trump is the savior. People still think there's a 5D chess playing out. They still think that there's some kind of alternative reason for all of this. And that they think that Trump is posting on his, Truth Socials on Twitter. They think that's actually him. Like, imagine you're against the cabal, right? You're against the cabal. Are you going to put everything that you're doing or planning to do on Twitter for them to read? It's just like, and this is what I mean, people are so far away from being sovereign, still looking for a leader, still looking for a savior, still believing in authority. Authority is just an absolute joke. People still think that because people in suits and in posh fancy buildings say that you need to do something, that you have to do it. It's like, and even all this legal and Magna Carta and Constitution, it's all bullshit. You don't have to do anything. And I likened it to like, I put the video out recently. Imagine like we're neighbours, and I come and knock on your door, and I'm like, hey, 2 p.m. tomorrow, you have to mow your lawn, right? You'd be like, what are you talking about? Are you insane? But because these people have these suits on, and it's like we somehow believe that they can tell us to do these things. It doesn't exist in nature. It's just it's just hilarious that we believe in authority. Why lie? You've never met a Venezuelan. I've had a Venezuelan girlfriend for 3 years before. What are you talking about? It's like, why would I lie about I live in Mexico. There's tons of Venezuelans here. What are you even talking about? Troll. How about Iran? I haven't even looked about Iran. Apparently there's an uprising there, but it's... I've not looked into it, to be honest with you. I'm staying in my own lane. I'm doing my own. I'm continuing to put out information that's hopefully going to help people get them to where they need to be. The world stage is just that to me. It's a world stage. I have a particular interest in Latin America because, like I say, I've been to Venezuela. I had a Venezuelan girlfriend. And I don't like seeing any country being bombed. So, and obviously, Trump's talking about coming after the cartels and stuff here. So, but Iran, I've not really looked into, so I can't comment too much on all of that. Is it true Mexicans drink a lot of Coca-Cola? Absolutely, 100% true. They are the biggest consumers of Coca-Cola in the world, and I see them leaving these 7-Elevens and with massive. I don't know if they're 2 liter bottles or 4 liter bottles. They are absolutely addicted, and even the it was funny the other day. I was in a town or something, and I was researching, and they have these I don't know witches or brujas they call them, and this one woman who calls herself a bruja in her potion uses Coca-Cola as one of the ingredients. Can you believe it? But the advertising here is everywhere. If you go into the small pueblos, they have Coca-Cola signs. So yeah, they're very much addicted to Coca-Cola. They drink a lot of alcohol. This is what I mean. You know, no culture is perfect. Their food is incredible, though, I will say. Mexican food is incredible. But yeah, it's true what you say about that. Do you think the next generation will figure out this BS and find a way out of the matrix? Well, I think that's what we're here to do. We're supposed to be educating the next generations. I work with a few younger people, and they seem to be way beyond their time. If they take an interest in what's going on, they kind of. But what's happening is the younger generation, they're getting diverted with AI. There's kids that they've got AI on, to play the games on their body, and they're growing up with the phones, and they're scrolling all the time. They've got Instagram. It's all online. Everything's online. It's all AI, and so they're going to be, we're the last line of defense. My generation, you guys that are in this stream, however old you are, we are really the last line of defense to stop them, becoming completely consumed with the agenda that's going to happen, or that they want to happen anyway. So I think when I speak to a lot of younger people, they know a lot of things are just BS. But I'm hungry now talking about seafood and Mexican food. What's the food like where you are? I'm British, and the food is terrible. We did some of it. If you're British, it's not terrible, and the British people in the stream will understand what I mean by that. But if you're non-British and you eat British food, you're gonna think, what the hell is this? I think we did a stream about food not so long ago, didn't we? We get into these side topics to try and lighten everything up a bit. I remember the last one. I went from cannibalism to 80s songs, just to put some light onto the stream. My measure is, if it can't eat, breathe, feel, think, touch, or whatever it is, and it has a warning sign, says don't take it. If you're awake, asleep, or alive or dead, I don't need to worry about it. Yep. People want freedom, but don't want sovereign responsibility. That's a great point, David. I just made that on the podcast that I was on. People are lazy. They're lazy. That's what it comes down to. They don't want to make their own decisions. They don't want to lead themselves. They don't want the responsibility. Far easier to go and take a pill, far easier to be told what to do, and there's consequences for that, as we know, and that extends into what happens when we die. People being told what to do, where to go. Oh, you just come for a life review, or you go to the processing center. It's like I just said just before, it's like the fact that our lives are recorded, right? Does anyone ever think about that? It's like, does any of these NDEs ever challenge these entities when they show them their life review? I'd be like, hang on a minute, you've just recorded my entire life. Are you a pervert or something? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what? But no, he just, okay, oh, you recorded my life. Oh. It comes down to, I don't know, maybe self-loathing. At the deepest level, maybe it's self-loathing, because if you're willing to give your power away to that extent, you can't really think much of yourself, you know? And that's through programming, trauma, you know, all the stuff that's out there. But eventually it's got to get to the point where it's just so bad where you're like, hang on a minute, this is not the one. So you're absolutely right. They don't want the responsibility. They're lazy. It starts as well, you know, at school we're taught not to question authority, to just go along to get along. Like, people think that it's an easy life, don't they? You know, I'm just going to go along with it because it's an easy life. But again, there's consequences to that. And people are going to get to the stage where at some point they're going to wish that they'd taken more care to learn what the truth was. Because they're going to get a slap round the face. Like, we get a slap round the face, but we get a slap round the face early. Because, all right, we figure it out. Okay, all right, there's no saviors. Oh, my guides aren't really guides. Okay, bang. we take it early. But then you can move forward, you can forge forward. But those people, they're going to get slapped round the face, and it's going to be too late. And we tried to warn them, didn't we? And we're already seeing that now. I mean, look at what's going on with the pokes in the arms, all the stuff that's going there, people dropping dead and you know, all that stuff. It's like, we tried to tell them and they wanted us dead. I remember people saying to me, I hope you die of the virus. And I was trying to warn them. Okay, well, here's your consequences now. You didn't want to listen. Not only didn't you want to listen, you wanted to insult people that were doing this out of the kindness of your heart, out of their heart. What is opening people's eyes? Are there not forces of benevolence? Is this place was 100% negative? They could have engineered us to never wake up. See, again, you're kind of looking for us. Just reading that quote, it's alluding that you're looking for some being outside of yourself to help. You know what I mean? This is what I'm trying to get across to people. We are our own saviors here. We are the benevolent ones. People like you and I that care and want to help things. We're the benevolent forces here. And they can't engineer everything. I mean, they're not as all powerful as we make them out to be. I mean, look at what they're doing. Like, what they're doing is so insane. The other day I was walking around here and they just absolutely caused chaos in the skies they've whited it out. And I was just thinking, how absolutely insane is that? Like, they're doing it everywhere. Imagine the cost of that, the manpower of doing that. It's absolutely insane. Like, the fact that they want to spy on and they pry into everything that we're doing and control us. Like, is that coming from a position of somebody or something that is powerful? Absolutely, it's not. It's coming from something that's absolutely paranoid and terrified, and that's worried they're going to lose their grip. And this is what we need to do. We've got to stop viewing these, well, at the deepest level, these entities as like some kind of all-powering, all-conquering. Yeah, they've tied us up in knots. Yeah, they've tricked us. Yeah, they've tricked us probably for maybe a few hundred or thousand lifetimes. Who knows exact amount. But we are internal streams of consciousness that eventually we're gonna eventually you can only trick consciousness for a certain amount of time before it realizes it's consciousness, and consciousness certainly does not have an authority. It's unbounding. It's just it's the essence of liberation and freedom. That is what is consciousness. That is what is flowing through each and every one of us. And so the fact that we believe that dark suits can tell consciousness what to do is hilarious. And all these puppets in their in their fancy dress outfits, the police and traffic wardens. It's hilarious when you think about it. Like, these people are dressed up in fancy dress, and because they're in fancy dress, we believe automatically that they have some kind of authority over us. And the funny thing is because they're in fancy dress, they believe that they have authority over us as well. When I watch these videos of these auditors going around and they challenge the police, it's hilarious to me, because credit to the auditors, because they know that they have power, but the police, they're all in their fancy dress, and they're talking like they can tell us what to do. It's just an illusion. The whole idea of authority is illusion. And one day, I'm sure humanity as a species will look back and say to each other, can you remember when we used to believe that others could tell us what to do? Absolutely insane clown world is. They say all internet has been cut off in Iran, yet lots of video footage. Yeah, maybe. Wouldn't surprise me. When they're losing control, they get more tyrannical, don't they? So wouldn't surprise me at all. They are so good. Apple Corp bought Coke recently. What's so good? Oh, your thoughts on? Oh, thank you, Knock. Knock is that's 100. I don't know what that is. Is that krona or something? It's the euro now. No, it's not 100 euros. I know that. Well, whatever currency that is, I am very thankful for that, Knock. I appreciate that a lot. So, your thoughts on Kitakara waking up? Is that the Mexican god? I'm not sure. A big dragon in the Caribbean. Oh, I saw something about that. Yeah, interesting. And there was another video of a dragon apparently in China or something. Yeah, because dinosaurs definitely didn't exist, but dragons, I think, did exist. I think mermaids existed as well. But the whole dinosaur scam is hilarious. And I was devastated when I first found out, because as a kid, I used to love dinosaurs. The old T-Rex and Jurassic Park. But all the bones are whale bones or paper mache. There's no culture has ever found dinosaur bones. The only people that found dinosaur bones, quote unquote, were a group of Freemasons that had that needed people to believe that whole scam, because then that makes you believe the theory of evolution, which is also a scam, that we came from fish, then suddenly came out of the water and developed into monkeys, and then they developed into Neanderthals, and it's just like, yeah, just crazy. And how would something like a Stegosaurus ever have intercourse? It's like, how would they do it? Get on the back or what? It's like, Mexican people are amazing. Yeah, I love Mexican people. They're the sorry, I'm just going from one subject from dinosaurs to Mexican people. But yeah, I do love Mexican people. They're I think they're so colourful. I've spoken before of just the colour, some places the women still wear the traditional dresses. The buildings are colourful. And I think that's why they don't want people coming here, because that's what life is supposed to be like. It's supposed to be colourful. People are supposed to be, express themselves. I mean, the noise will always get on my nerves. I'll never get used to that. But they do. The one thing I would say with Mexican people is they can be, quite lazy, and a large majority of them are not really interested. Well, I guess that's the same everywhere, in the truth. But there are some people that are. That's also changing. But the other thing as well, because I like to give both sides, woke culture is very much here. There's a lot of trans, the trans agenda, that's very much here. Feminism is very much here. So the same agendas are very much playing out here, as they have been in other places. So if you have an NDE and want to come to your life, do you follow the fake light to come back? Well, I mean, it seems to be that when people have their NDEs, they're just literally thrown back in their bodies. So I don't think you get, when you're having like a Matrix NDE, I don't think you get a choice. You're pretty much stuffed back in. That one NDE that I reviewed, who thought she was talking to God, who told her that she had free will and then stuffed her back in her body. How's that for free will? How long have you been living in Mexico? It must be 6 or 7 years now. And yeah, so I can speak Spanish, and yeah, I'm not one of these people that comes here and you get people that come here and they don't try and integrate with the culture, and people love it. The Mexican, if you can speak Spanish, even if you make an effort, they love it. And I've actually got discounts from stuff because, habla español, yeah. And más barato para ti, it's cheaper for you. They love it. If you make an effort with them, you get 100% more effort back from them, and they've got a great sense of humor. Like I say, it's not perfect. There's a lot of, there's other things that are annoying, but in general, original Coca-Cola had cocaine in it. Interesting, I never knew that. Well, obviously that's why it's Coca-Cola. The clue's in the word. But yeah, that makes sense to me. Oh, and also the new president of Venezuela is a J, just like the president of Mexico is a J. Funny that, isn't it? What a surprise. We have a Catholic country run by a J. But she's not very popular here at all. Most people can't stand her because she protects the cartels. Well, they've all protected the cartels down the years, but she very outwardly does it. Have you seen the movie Astral City? I think I tried to watch it once, but I didn't get through it. I don't know whether I fell asleep. I need to go back and revisit that one. For me, the best movie that talks about the real death experience is Defending Your Life. Your accent is so adorable. Yeah, the British accent's quite popular around the world, but when I hear it, I can't stand it. I remember I had to get a flight this year somewhere, I can't remember. And at the same time, there was a flight going back to the UK, Birmingham. And no disrespect to any Brummies in the chat, but they will get it, They won't hate me for it. But the Brummie accent is, let's say it's quite an interesting accent. It's like, I don't know if I can do it. It's like, Hello, my name's Tony. No, that was a terrible Brummie accent. But I was listening to that, I was like, wow. Have you done any past life regressions on your own? Yeah, I've gone into certain things. I've obviously gone back into regressions with clients down the years, and I've gone into. There's been a lifetime where I was an orphan, and a little bit like Oliver Twist. I remember I had a memory of coming up with a chimney sweep, and my mum had died when, pretty much like the film Oliver, the mum had died, and I'd got taken into this orphanage, and it wasn't a very good experience, and I had to do some work around that. I had another client that she went back to a memory where she was in the Irish famine, because the trauma, it's not just this cycle, this trauma every cycles. So how do they record it though? Well, I guess they have some kind of etheric technology, but I always do that. It's the last time you're recording my life. Yeah, face head on, move through all the BS. It's the only way. Yeah, it is. Take the punch in the face, and just keep moving forward. Bring Howdy McGasty back, please. Yeah, he reached out to me the other week, I think. I probably need to start doing some new, have some guests on again. I've been taking a break, I guess, from just looking at all of the information, and, it's like everyone, it gets a bit heavy after a while, especially when you're talking about it all the time. Yeah, well, yeah, David Icke. Yeah, I'm well put off by him these days. For multiple different reasons. Least not that I got a very nasty threat from someone that works on his Iconic show, which really told me what he is. I don't want to go into the details of it, but it was not very nice at all. And if that's the sort of people that he associates himself with, then I definitely know he's not on our side, that's for sure. And there's other things as well, I've mentioned it in previous videos, but he doesn't talk about the certain things around World War II. He doesn't talk about. Sometimes it's not what people talk about, it's what they don't talk about. That's what gatekeeping is. And he wants you out on protests and petitions, which is appealing to authority, which is, as I've mentioned before, is an illusion. He's speaking at all the protests, and what he's protesting is begging, it's appealing to authority. That is not moving people towards being sovereign and internal sovereignty, external freedom. You cannot have external freedom if you're not internally sovereign. And if you're out marching, pleading, begging, writing to politicians, all of this stuff, you're not moving towards that sovereign frequency, which is where they really don't want people, which is why we have all these savior programs in this realm and the astral. In this realm we have Trump, we have, all these different people, and then in the astral you have guides, you have angels, you have God, you have all these people that we think is going to save us, and it never ever happens. That's the thing. No one ever asks that question. Has anyone been saved by any of these people or deities? Like, how many unanswered prayers are in a graveyard? How many dead people prayed to God and Jesus? All of them, like most of them. So there's other things with him. I had an interview. I actually went, I've spoken about this before. I went on his show. Gareth Icke interviewed me, gave me 15 minutes. I mean, what can I do in 15 minutes? And then he kept kind of diverting me to talk, because I was trying to expose the New Age, and he kept saying like, what, religion, yeah? No, New Age. What, religion, yeah? No, New Age. What, religion? Because he has a lot of New Agers on his Iconic program. I got one client that tied himself up in knots. He started going down this. He started following a woman that had appeared on Icon. She's a complete New Ager, and I'm like, man, you're going down the wrong path here. Like, you what are you doing? He won't mind me saying, he's a good guy, but now he sees it. He's like, that almost got me. So he's got a lot of new age. He's had Elizabeth April on his show. He's had Tommy Robinson on his show. You know, Tommy Robinson works for Israel. Elizabeth April, she's like the Queen New Ager. He's had Laura Eisenhower on his show, Queen New Ager. You know, so he speaks a lot of truth, and trust me, I am the first person that would want to be sitting here saying David Icke is on our side. He's one of us, but I don't think he is. And I was a little bit on the fence for years, but the last few months, I'm definitely, when I saw that he was getting people to sign petition we'd already just had in the UK, the biggest petition that ever signed against digital ID, laughed at. They went, no, we're still doing it. And then he went ahead and shared one about digital ID for babies. And I'm like, what is this guy doing? Like, we've been laughed at. Now he's sharing another petition. What is that teaching people? So like I talk about on the channel, you know, these people give you 90% truth, but you've got to know when to pull the plug on someone. And okay, he woke me up. His first videos, and I still take a lot of what he, you know, the whole, you know, a lot of what he said, I still embody it, you know, not caring what people think, speaking your truth and all that stuff. But I don't know whether he's been got at or he's always been controlled, because it's really been the last, since the digital ID stuff, that I really started questioning him. And then when I started questioning him, because I got quite a big following on Facebook as well, this woman, she's like, you're calling me evil, and she's at the front with him at the march and holding against digital ID. She's next to him, and then she made a very nasty threat, which was very serious, and I've still got the screenshot in case I ever need it. But it was shocking to me, actually. And at that point I was like, well, because she works for Iconic. I'm like, well, okay, so I'm not, if you work for Iconic and you can threaten me like that, it was shocking. And then at that point I knew he can't be, because you wouldn't have anyone working like that for you. Yeah. So it's sad, because like I say, with all these people, like, the reason I do these reviews, it's not because I'm being an asshole. I don't dig people out because I want to be like an asshole to people. I dig people out because they're misleading people. And so sometimes with certain people, it might be, you've got to look out for the rug pull. You've got to look out for the dump in the punch bowl. Okay, good. Okay, so for example, if tomorrow I started to talk about putting signing petitions, you got to pull the plug on me, right? Or if I start saying, your spirit guides are going to help you, that's a red flag. Okay, Tony, he's been speaking a lot of truth. Now he's speaking about guides saving me or petitions. That's it. Bye-bye. You're gone. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes people can genuinely get something wrong. So maybe that's a bit extreme. But you should always have that discernment. I got the veganism thing wrong because well, they got me on my empathy. You know, I watched Earthlings. I mean, you got to be a psychopath to watch Earthlings and not feel bad for eating meat, right? So I kind of let myself off the hook on that a bit before. So the discernment's always got to be at the forefront. That's part of being sovereign. And when I'm like, what's he sharing petitions for? Where is this guy leading us? And then looking at what he doesn't talk about. And then he appeared on Brian Rose's channel. Just some of the people's channels that he appears on. Brian Rose, I mean, he's just an out and out reptile. I mean, it just the energy off him, and just the people he associates himself with, you know. It's just I'm as sure as I can be now about him, and like I say, I was on the fence for a while with him, but it's more to do with a personal experience more than anything, really. David Pink. And what I think he's done is that he, I mean, the reptilian thing, I think obviously it's very true. I talk about it myself, you know, the entities and stuff. But I think at the time the public weren't ready for it. So I think he was straight out the gate with all of that stuff, and I think it made anyone look who was looking at truth, they would associate themselves with him. It's like if you speak about it now, people are more open to it. But I think back in the day, I think when was that, like 80s? I don't know if people were quite ready for that. I mean, I don't know if there is a perfect time. I guess we should always speak the truth whenever that time period is. But maybe at some point he was handled. Maybe they got at him. Because, you know, if even today, even if I watch some of his videos now, like he calls Trump out, he calls Elon Musk out. I'm like, yeah, David, you know, I agree with you there. So, but there's other things that have just gone so far where, you know, he's in the bin for me. So. Sorry, I'm just 97 people on the stream, 59 likes. And I'm the only person that can help me. Yeah, I'm the only person who can help me. I learned, yeah. I mean, like I say, you can get help, but it's getting the right help. It's using your discernment. Not. I think what's going on is we're just, especially in the new age, people just go to anything, don't they? Yeah, I've heard about Isabella Green. I don't like her. That's another one David Icke associates herself with. She talks about, you know, Kundalini, connecting with Kundalini, which is serpent energy. She also channels. You guys know I don't recommend anyone that channels, because they're gonna be channeling an entity. You know. They might say they're channeling Archangel Michael or Pleiadians or God or whatever, but it will be an entity, a masquerading entity, because they're going into the astral, which is the prison yard, which is where all the prison guards are. Yeah, someone just asked me about Icke. Why did you leave England? Well, I kind of just the energy there is too dense for me. I don't feel creative there. I can't. I've said before, I can't. And the weird thing is, the UK and England it's on a very important sits on a very important energy point on the Earth's grid. London in particular, that's why they build the financial system there. So I think if it wasn't so hijacked energetically, the land of England and the UK is very special, and it is very special in its own right. If you go to somewhere like Avebury or Glastonbury, I've been to Avebury. They've hijacked Glastonbury with all the New Age scene. If you go to Glastonbury now, it's full of New Agers. So it's basically demonic there. So it's basically satanic, Glastonbury. So they've hijacked the energy of the UK, and Mexico is also a very important. There's a lot of important points on the Earth's grid here. This is why there's so many pyramids here. And as I've been traveling around, I've been doing grid work and working on the energy. I've been visiting certain sites, to help the Earth and work on the Earth's energy grid. I don't just work with people. Part of what I'm doing here is grid work, which I love because I get to visit these places. But yeah, in terms of, for me to be able to be creative and, I've written a few books and things like that. And the weather as well. It's just, some people like the cold. Some people like the cold. I'm just someone, even in the summer in the UK, I feel cold. And in the winter, it gets dark at like 4 p.m. And that makes me feel kind of like depressed. And so it's just like anything. People have certain preferences, and some people like living there, and obviously I'll be going back and forth down the years because my family's there. But to live there, I can't do what I need to do when I'm there, really. Yeah, but my own past life. Yeah, like I say, I've got the orphan one. To be honest, people talk about their past lives. We need to work on our this life trauma. People. I mean, it's kind of intriguing, to know what kind of past life, but don't get caught up in working on past life stuff until you've worked on this life stuff. Knock is Norwegian krone. Yeah. I thought it was Scandinavian. I was pretty much clear. Yeah. So thank you for the Norwegian krone. So yeah, before you deal with past life stuff, make sure you've dealt with this life stuff. Yeah, dragons are entities. Yeah, giants, possibly. Yeah, they're in the Tartarian architect. There's big archways, and how long have I been going for? 72 minutes. Wow, they always go so quick. With Trump and Jesus in control, don't you feel good? How did you land here? Your YouTube suggestion is, it could be your greatest gift landing on this channel today. It will be a slap round the face, first of all. But Austin 2037, I would spend a good few hours going through my videos and just digesting everything. I mean, I'm not going to go into Trump and Jesus. They're savior programs. I already spoke about the danger of savior programs before. But you are at the start of a very long journey that you might not wish that you started. Why is this realm so shit? I think it's designed that way. I think it's literally designed that way. They keep us in scarcity, don't they? The human body, with its pain, and like you think about, I think the human body can work with us, but think how much maintenance it is as well. Like if you didn't have a human body, you wouldn't have to eat. Like it's like you're carrying around, and in some ways I don't like talking about the body in this way because I have huge respect for my own body, and I believe in body consciousness. I believe you can talk to your body, and I believe you can speak to your organs, and you can get feedback from your body. And sometimes like these insights that don't eat and stuff. It's almost like I'm talking to my body. But at the same time, you think about pain. Maybe that's not an organic thing that we have. Maybe that was put there. You have, but you have to feed it. You have to water it. You have to poop and pee, and you have to get up at 3 in the night, if 3 o'clock in the morning, if you need to pee. Do you know what I mean? It's like, buenos dias, ¿cómo estás? In Norway, it's hard to feel very alone among so many normies, but I'm doing okay. I'm getting a lot of clients from Scandinavia lately. I don't know what's going on there. I've got a lot of people from Finland, Sweden, Norway right now. So something's going on in the waters in Scandinavia right now, because it's very interesting, because I can gauge what's going on by where all my clients come from. And I haven't had too many down from Scandinavia down the years, but now I'm getting a lot of Scandinavians. So something's going on there, clearly. I'm going on a Finnish podcast for the second time in this month. So yeah, I might go to live in Patagonia or Falklands Islands. I watched a documentary about the Falkland Islands. There's there's no one there. It's perfect. But there's a couple of flights that go there, but you're literally out on a limb there. But the people there are they all know each other. It's really weird, because obviously they're British, but they live there. I mean, it's the whole war over those islands. I think the war over those islands is to protect Antarctica, because they don't want people going to the Antarctic, because I think there's more land there. This is why you have countries that have been at war with each other, all agreed and signed the Antarctic Treaty. And if you try and go there, they'll let you go there, but you can go to a tiny slither of land on the cruise ships, where you go and see a few penguins and a few icebergs. So there's this little bit for tourists, which is just off the coast of Chile. But then if you try and go further, that's when you'll be met by military aircraft and military ships, and they'll stop you. There are so many shit sandwiches. It's a constant shit sandwich than the Jewish deli. It's just one big shit sandwich, isn't it, basically? And it's a shame, because it doesn't have to be like that. There's a new Afterlife movie called Life After Life. Really? Is that in the cinema or on Netflix? Because I'll be interested in watching that for sure. Same, I'm never happy to hear another British accent. Yeah, when I hear it, it's like, oh no. But then when you meet other people, and people say, oh, I love the British accent, it's weird, because as Brits, we hate it, right? We don't really like it. It's not often you find a British person that likes another British accent. Although saying that, I love the Welsh accent. If you've ever heard the Welsh accent, if you're not from the UK, go onto YouTube and just type in Welsh accent. I absolutely love the Welsh accent. Someone's put, I've been living in the US for 15 years and your British accent is a little annoying, I must say. No offense. I'm not offended. How can I be offended at this point? I've had people say absolutely everything. I've had people make videos about me. How can I be offended? It's like, I think it's funny. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't like. And when I hear my voice, when I've done like interviews and stuff, I cringe. Yeah, at this point, I'm unoffendable. Really, it doesn't really matter. Which is very liberating, actually. Yeah. So families randomly, are our families randomly selected for us? What is our relation to our family? I don't know. I mean, there's all different concepts about this, soul groups. Who knows with that? Are we just shoved into a human body? But then you have pre-birth planning and all that stuff. So it's very difficult to say. What's your thoughts about people taking their faces off and making them look like aliens? I've not seen that. Is that like some kind of filter or something? Netherlands. I love Dutch people because they get the humor. It's really weird. The Northern Europeans, like and Scandinavians as well, they kind of get like the dry, sarcastic sense of humor. Although Mexicans do as well. But the more Southern Europe you go, it's like their humor's a bit different. Hit the like, yes please. Elizabeth Green, Isabella Green, yeah. Yeah, he never talks about flat earth and fake space. No, he doesn't. And the hollow, and the event in Germany where all these millions of people were killed in a gassing situation, which I want to do. I want to really talk about that so much more because I've got a lot of knowledge now about the wars and what happened. But if you mention certain things on YouTube, literally you'll get your channel taken down. So I'm thinking of doing some separate content on either Odyssey or BitChute in regards to that topic where I can speak more freely. Because that really is a huge rabbit hole to go down. Alex Jones woke me up, but I still recognise him as Control. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And don't they appear, like David Icke's appeared on Alex Jones's channel. AJ woke me up and he's Control, yeah. You just have to get out of... Yeah, you take what you need and then you get the hell out of there. For me, unless you're like people go, well, who do you like, Tony? I like anyone who encourages sovereignty. I like anyone who encourages you to be your own leader. And yeah, that's it. Anyone that does that, I'm all right with them. But if they're trying to hook you into some kind of savior program, then it's a big no. Yeah, we need to go internal. Yeah, you nailed Dolores Cannon to the door. Yeah, yeah. She did get nailed. Who's the other woman the other day? Angela something. What's her name? She reckons she channels all these celebrities. She reckons she channeled George Michael in a recent video. I might break it down. But you guys know I love like the 80s and 80s music, but George Michael was one of the most underrated music producers of his time. And he died in very suspicious circumstances. Obviously, he wrote the song Last Christmas and he died on Christmas Day. So there's something very off about that. But she reckons she's channeled him. I need to watch that for shits and giggles. Would I know if I was a reptile? I'm pretty sure they do know. I'm pretty sure they do. Do NPCs know they're NPCs? If you cut your tail off and it grows back, that's a strong indicator. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. A benevolent creator wouldn't have designed the food chain. That's right. The fact that everything consumes something needs to consume something else to survive is absolutely horrific. And I said the other day that even though I'm not vegan now, I still if I could get the same if I could get the same level of health from being vegan, I would be vegan, because still even now, just the idea of eating other beings doesn't sit right with me, especially because I did go down that path. Um, it's sad that it has to be that way, but you can't, like, every everyone has a species specific diet, just like lions are not, you're not going to get a lion that's vegan. They're all going to be carnivore, right? You're not going to get a cow that eats meat, because they're not. And it's the same with humans. We have a species specific diet, which is species specific, and you can't bend it into a pretzel and make something else worse, because eventually it catches up with you. I question everything about this shit show, but I still make my own fun. I got a good dose of dark and shady humor, and focus on my art. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's what you have to do. It's no good being all doom and gloom about it. And what do I always say? Every time you smile, a reptilian goes hungry, and they hate creativity. So absolutely, we have to get in touch with our creativity, whether it's poetry. I mean, that's a dying thing. I love writing poems. I need to write some more. I might actually do a book of poems. Poetry, whether it's playing an instrument, whether it's creating content, whether it's art or whatever. Just we're creative beings. Isn't Glastonbury supposed to be the heart chakra, according to New Agers? Yeah, New Agers and their chakras. Yeah, like I say, if you go to Glastonbury, I'm sure it's a very strong, powerful energy vortex. This is why they've stuck all the New Agers there. This is what they always do, right? They do it on islands. The island of Ibiza, the island of Ibiza in Spain, Koh Phangan in Thailand. These, because islands have their own energies as well, and they hijack Koh Phangan. If you go to Koh Phangan, same thing, full of New Agers, because these islands have, a special kind of energetic signature. They make them party islands and New Age islands. So they hijack the energy, and then it distorts it, and it becomes a very demonic energy. So Glastonbury's the same. They've piled all the New Agers there, and it's just satanic energy now. I went to Glastonbury for the first time last year, and I couldn't get away quick enough. Yeah, I imagine. Avebury, did you go? Avebury's incredible. Like, you could, if you're energy sensitive, you can literally feel the energy change when you're in those areas. So there's something about those areas. But I should go to Glastonbury just to do like a video for the channel. I should do that. I should get someone to like film me like in these places. Maybe that's something that will be good in the future. I'm in depression every single winter in Michigan. Yeah, that's the thing. Winter's not good for me. I just Glastonbury made me sick. Ex-friend took me there. Never again. Yeah. And everyone raves about it, you know, all the New Agers, they rave about Glastonbury. Oh, I went to Glastonbury. I spent the summer in Glastonbury. And I did a gong bath and a meditation workshop. Why did they hide dragons and giants from us? Oh, who knows? Who knows? I think sometimes they want to keep that. I think they want us to think that we're like isolated. This is like the whole thing in space, with space, that we're here on our own, millions of light years away from anything. And I don't know. And when, you know, if there is land beyond Antarctica, maybe there's giants and dragons there. Because I guess because we're a slave species, if we, you know, isolation is a very strong form of mind control. This is why we had lockdowns. It's a form of like torture, really, in a way. So maybe there is all this other life, and they just don't want to make us aware of it, because maybe then we just won't feel. We feel more alone. I don't know, more isolation. What are your thoughts on your ego? Oh, destroy your ego. You have to destroy your ego. The New Agers will tell you, which is actually the most egoic thing that you could say. Like how you could destroy an inherent part of you. No, there's your ego. You need a healthy ego. Of course, you don't want to be stuck in ego and like that kind of thing. But if you don't have an ego in this realm, a healthy ego, you're going to be absolutely trounced upon. And you know, like if there was no ego, you wouldn't want to create anything. There'd be no art. There'd be no music. Like no one would do anything, because there'd be fear of being in their ego. It's comical to me when these new cages tell me that they've destroyed their ego. Like, oh really? Okay. How does that look then? It's like, oh man, the New Age. It's dying though. The New Age is dying, guys. I'm telling you. We're making progress because in this interview that I just did, one of the questions, he said, why is it that a lot of the New Age leaders now are now going back to religion? And they are. I think Laurie Ladd, she's now going back to religion. A few of the other ones are. And it's because people are figuring out it's BS, right? So, but they still need to keep people in a savior program. That's their role. The likes of Laurie Ladd is to keep you in a savior program away from your sovereignty. So where the new age stuff is starting to break down, they're gravitating back to religion, which was the original savior program, and they're hoping to hook people back in there. Russell Brand was new age. He's now religious again. So they're flip-flopping people into, like, they don't care really if you're a new age or if you're into religion, but they're flip-flopping because, you know, the new age, new cage is starting to break down, I think, as more and more speak about it and expose it. And I've said before, I'm gonna continue doing my reviews till the day I die, because or as long as my YouTube channel is up, because there's still millions of people that believe in all that horse shit, right? So we've got to keep spreading the truth about that, because it is so important. Because if you're a new ager and you die a new ager, you're going to get hooked back round for another lifetime, because you can guarantee your guides, Archangel Michael, you know, Ascended Masters, the Pleiadians, whatever entity they like in the New Age, is gonna show up at the light tunnel, and you're gonna be hooked back round because you couldn't give it up in your physical life. So as I say again, best to take the punch in the face now, and then you know, you're not gonna get tricked again. Only thing I don't agree with is the false light and angels are dark entity tricksters. Why don't you believe that? Is that because you don't want to believe that? Or what is it? Because I'd be interested to know. I got up to pee at 3 a.m. and my cat thinks it's time for treats. 3 a.m.'s a witching hour. You know, guys, you shouldn't have mirrors, right? You shouldn't have mirrors in your bedroom. If you got if you got a mirror in your bedroom, it's like a portal. And at 3 a.m., the witching hour, it's like they're all coming in. I could talk all day. I really love my YouTube community. I really do. Like, I'm not one of these people that say I love you. You know, you get these you get the new cages that go I love you all. You know, like I'm like you've never met me. You don't know me. Like I don't, like individually. I don't know you all enough to love you. But what I do love is the fact that you you know, if you're here at this point, you know, you've pretty much got like discernment, you've got like those things figured out, you've taken the punch in the face, you know, you've gone down, you've eaten so many shit sandwiches that you're full, right? You've had a feast of shit sandwiches, and it makes me happy that you guys have made it this far, because it's not an easy journey. The easy journey is to continue with the bullshit lies, the savior programs, to not face reality how it is. So I'm super proud that you're here and you've come this far, and I'm sure there's going to be rewards for that. Whether or not it's this lifetime or next lifetime remains to be seen. But I think this is what we're here to do, to figure this stuff out, and to face the deepest depths of darkness that's going on here, and still conclude that you know, it's us that have got to do this. It's me and it's us. It's weird because it's the more we become individual sovereign me's, the more we have more me's in like a sovereign army. So we become an us in the end anyway, but still retain our sovereignty. You see what I mean? So yeah, just well done for all of your individual journeys, for the trials and tribulations, you know, for the grieving process that you've all gone through to arrive at this point. So it makes me happy that the community thinks along the same lines, you know, because all my communities are kind of different. My Facebook community is more Mexico. So yeah, I just wanted to say that it was not easy. Yeah, it's not easy. Noise campaign started. Noise campaign activated. Absolutely. Shit sandwich indeed, yeah. I see a lot of divide and conquer. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is by the elites in terms of, you know, dividing us by religions and ideologies and stuff like that. But we don't want to unite behind bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like some people say, like for example, let's talk about Ike, right? You could say, well, it's division. That I'm saying that he's not who we think he is. But then if we all followed what I believe his underlying message is now, and that's to stay in that loop of authority and appealing to authority, then that's dangerous. So it's not division. There's no point in uniting behind people that are there to mislead us. We love you too. Thanks. I'm going through this with my family. Hard to know how much I should try to fit the role versus avoid them. It's families difficult. I think for me in my early days, funnily enough, they're all starting to see it now. I've had well, yeah, I've had conversations with certain family members that have said, I see what you're saying now. I'm like, finally. And the early days with them, I was like a bull in the china shop, trying to get them to see and getting frustrated, and because they're your family and you love them, they're the people that you care most about. You want them the most to see what you're seeing, and then when they don't, it hurts even more and it causes even more frustration. But the changing moment for me, was when Convid came, and the pokes in the arms, and at that point I thought, they've got to make their own decisions, So I backed off completely. I don't even mention this stuff to them anymore, and actually, yeah, I don't try and force it upon them anymore. Now I don't force it upon anyone unless I think that they're ready to hear it. Like the Mexican guy I spoke about earlier, when he mentioned chemicals in the sun cream, I was like, right, that's my shoe in. Let's go deeper, and yeah, so it was okay. Is that 100? Is that 159? Oh, 159. Is that Australian dollars? Oh my God. Thank you so much. Is that real? Wow. Crystal, wow, thank you. Maybe I got the currency wrong then. Maybe it's Thai baht. I think it says Australian, but that's incredibly generous of you for that. Wow. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. kind of speechless there. I've never had a donation like that before. So thank you so much. Authority is an illusion, yeah. Love and respect them from a distance, yeah. My sister, she is my best and only friend. It was too much for her to listen about being trapped. I don't blame her, I believe in it. But made me more depressed because I don't know how to escape. Well, I think that's her choice. She doesn't want to look at the truth, or she's not ready to look at the truth. So all you can do is plant the seed and then have no stake in the outcome. That's really the only way you can do this. You have to speak your truth and not have any other thoughts about whether they're going to listen to you or not, because you've done your part by speaking your truth. You've done your job. Then it's up to them. But I remember back in the day, I was trying to shoehorn the truth into people. It's like, take the shit sandwich, take it. And of course, that energy alone causes friction. And I have a lot of empathy for myself back then, because I just want people to know. You just want people to realize. You want people to see what you're seeing, especially when you first wake up. But in a way, it causes friction. So you just got to look for the right opportunity and just sow the seeds. Believe everything you say. You've opened your eyes. Thank you. God, this is a long one. I don't mind sounding like a nutter to people. I'm done pretending. I can't pretend. It drains my energy. Too many religion and New Age brainwashed. Yeah, but it's... I don't know if we need everyone, I think it's starting to make an impact. As I say, a lot of these big New Agers are starting to give up on trying to promote that stuff. Mine was the opposite. My siblings woke me up, especially my sister. She was against the Pope. Yeah, I think I've had that effect on my sister. She was, for years, she'll be the first to say, She didn't want to hear any of it, but now I don't know if she still wants to hear it, but she definitely is aware, has more awareness. Oh, we missed you. Yeah, I missed you guys too. Yeah, but what I will say, Rebecca, it's not the new year. This is a fake new year. This is a Gregorian. You know, we got to stick to truth with everything. The real new year is on April the 1st. So happy New Year, April 1st. Do you like Mark Passio? I still have a lot of the things that he talks about in my locker. For example, the illusion of authority, the real meaning of anarchy, the New Age. He does a very good debunk on the New Age, but he lost me when he blames us for everything, and it's our fault that this is like it is. You know, he doesn't really talk about entities, and he doesn't really go deep into the metaphysical. He says like it's all our fault. It's natural law, which is basically karma, and because we're ignorant, then it's our fault that we're getting more shit. Basically, that's his underlying message, which really, they're poisoning us. They're spraying us like bugs. They're doing stuff to us that is not. Some of it's kind of out of our control. And then you look at entity attachments and how they influence people and how entities work through, members of government and all of this stuff. It's not all of our fault, right? It's just not. And so whether or not that's a blatant dump in the punch bowl to get us to blame ourselves again, even if we were walking around all being perfect people, it's still not going to. They're still not going to stop what they're doing. So, but some of his stuff, I actually revisited because I wanted to make. Because the big thing at the moment with me and my work is teaching sovereignty, and getting people out of this idea that authority is even a thing. And he does a fantastic breakdown on that. And so what I did is I went back and watched that recently, and it was still very good. And then I incorporate that in my messages that I put out as well, in terms of giving up that illusion of authority and the true meaning of anarchy, which does not mean chaos. It means the opposite of that. That's why when you say the word anarchy, people automatically think chaos, when actually it doesn't mean that. It means no leaders, without rulers, anarch without rulers. How can it be our fault? We've been programmed. Yeah, that's what I mean. If you listen to his whole body of work, and he's very angry, he's vegan as well, and he's very, not that that's a reason not to like his work, but he's so angry. And I know that's from being an ex-vegan. I know that's because in vegan, in when you give up, there's that terminology of hangry, of feeling angry because you're not getting the nutrition you need. And I see that in him because I used to feel the same. This hangry, wanting to, just needing that. So true. Your entity clearing is wonderful. You've been such a help. Thank you. Does this mean does this mean if we believe we cannot be arrested, they can't? No, this is the whole BS law of attraction, isn't it? Don't think the negative because you're going to draw more of it in. You can still think, go back to Gaza, right? Because this is what I say to the New Agers. I always use Gaza. All right, so you're telling me that the reason that children in Gaza are drawing bombs on them is because they're thinking about bombs, right? That's how you say it. So if they suddenly don't think about bombs, then suddenly that reality is not going to manifest. Well, of course it's going to still manifest, because there's psychopaths still existing that want to bomb and take over that area. So this whole idea that we just draw things in based on, whether or not we focus on them, it's just new age BS, basically. Oh my God, my ex-boyfriend was a vegan and he was so mad at me for everything. Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like when I was vegan, I also was quite an angry person, if I'm being honest. You know, because you just don't realize it's just horrific. It really is. I just all the time, just feeling on edge. And do you believe in parallel realities? I'm not sure about that. I believe, yeah, maybe all possibilities exist at the same time, and we can choose via our actions, not just by sitting there thinking love and light, because that's what the New Agers think. They think that they can just sit there, think love and light, and then they're suddenly in the new earth and they're in 5D without lifting a finger, without exposing any tyranny, without doing any work on themselves. They're suddenly just there in 5D. It's just hilarious. Have you done a video on Teal Swan? Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's about maybe 3 or 4 years old now. It's very weird, the things she talks about on there. I need to do another one soon. Who should I do next? Who should I do next? Any ideas? I'm out of touch with all the New Agers. Are we going to Mars? Well, space doesn't exist, so we're not going to Mars. I don't know if you've been down that rabbit hole yet. We're underneath a firmament, and all the planets and the sun and the moon, they're underneath the firmament. So there is no space, so to speak of. Yeah, I've done Joe Dispenza. Alexander Quinn, no, I've not heard of him. I get a lot of emails from people that want me to review certain people. Yeah, they have crazy eyes, yeah. Who's that one that I did? I can't even, they all merge into one in the end. My favourites were, what's the, Eliza, what's their name? Elsa and Simone. And what's the one that talks about the rainbow? But Jerry Sargent. Jerry Sargent. He gave us the gift of the Rainbow Bridge. And who's the one that talks about the guides with the she got guided to find a parking space? They've given us so many gifts of laughter down the years. In a way, we have to thank them for their bullshittery, because without them we wouldn't be able to have so much fun. But the car park, if I had to name, okay, so there's three like top new age things of the reviews that are my top three. Would be I think activation, vibration, and I like language. And the way they speak down to their audience is just like, I mean, the audience gets what they deserve. They're completely not sovereign. I mean, they're under a spell. I believe that, I think it puts you into a frequency fence, because the eyes glaze over, and there are disclosure events you could review. Acura. But certainly Jerry Sargent, the guides with the car parking spaces, they're definitely a top two memories. Eldora and Simone, just because I saw them in person and I saw how much Eldora bosses Simone around, because you pick it up in the video that he's bullied by her, right? You could just tell he's bullied by her. But when I saw them in person, I was wondering if she was going to confront me, But she didn't see me. I was eating my meal. She completely walked past me to go to the toilet. But she was bossing him around outside. I could see, like, she was going, "Rah, rah, rah, rah," and he was just like taking it, just like they come across in their videos, right? Greg Braden, I mean, he's part of the cult, isn't he? Anyone that's super duper 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 famous, um, I've not I've not reviewed him, but you know, he's out there writing books. Has he been on Oprah Winfrey and all that stuff? People who look for saviors suffer from lack of self-love and self-respect. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Never heard of these people. If you go back on my channel, oh, Amanda Ellis. Amanda Ellis is the one that thinks that she was channeling George Michael. George Michael's voice, right? The frequency, he had such a special voice. Because there's something in someone's voice as well that can, I mean, that's why they don't want people singing properly, and we have music the way it is right now, because someone's voice can actually, yeah, it can change your vibration, if you like. But he was a very kind man. He gave away a lot of money, and it was obvious that they murdered him. And it's sad, you know, because he also spoke up against a war in Iraq. He wrote a song called "Shoot the Dog." Go on YouTube and write type "Shoot the Dog" George Michael, and he's got like these caricatures of Bush and Blair. And he destroys it. It destroys the whole idea. Yeah, Mark Devlin, he's had some questionable guests lately, though. He had Archaic on, and I don't know. I've known Mark for years, but some people that he's had on recently. He was also into Trump a few years back. Certain sounds have healing prophecies. Yeah, I think there's certainly something in people's voices, certain people's voices. And the interesting thing about George Michael, get this right, he said when he was a child, he wasn't even interested in music. He had an accident. He banged his head, and he said, I don't know if it was something about, it did something to my right brain. But he said, after the accident, I completely changed. I wasn't interested in nature and all of that stuff like I was before. I was completely obsessed with music. And it's weird. It's like, it seems very serendipitous, doesn't it? Almost like synchromistic. Because the songs that he wrote about the Iraq War, and he was very much speaking out against that and other political issues. You know, people don't really realize, you know, how intelligent and, understated he was, I think. So, what do you think of Jeff Berwick and Max Egan? I went to the Anacapulco thing a few years ago, and they were full of New Agers, full of people telling you to do plant medicine. There was all these weird kind of dances going on. I spoke recently about it was another live that I did. They had someone talk about this place, that the Lieberland, they call it. This land where so-called freedom activists can buy, and you can own a piece of land. We all live there and everything. It sounds great. And then as this guy was explaining it, he described what essentially was a social credit score. That, what will happen is we'll have these rules, and then if everyone abides by the rules, then they get a high score. And everyone was clapping. These were truthers, right? Truthers. Everyone was clapping. I spoke about this very recently, and I'm like to this bloke that I met, I'm like, that's a social credit score. And he's like, oh, you're so negative. He was a bit new agey. I'm like, no, that's a social credit score. I'm going to challenge him on this. And they gave me the mic. And I'm like, what you just described there, that was a social credit score. And he's like, oh yeah, I know you're going to say it's about China and yeah, trying to get out of it. And I was the only one. There was like hundreds of people there. These are people that are supposedly awake. Solipsism, yeah, I need to do a video on solipsism. Yeah, the idea that, you can make up your own truth. The New Agers love that. Oh, well, it's your truth. Truth's subjective. No, it's not. It's objective. You can't just make it up as you go along. Yeah, it was unbelievable. They were all sitting there clapping social credit score. These are supposed to be the cream of the crop people. And yeah, big... this is what I mean. There's so few people that I think truly get it. They just want to go with anything that sounds half good, Just got to say I appreciate you so much. It's breath of fresh air. Thank you so much. I appreciate you too. Almost tricked into one of these, the TI who were trying to do, but if they suddenly don't like you one day, they will kick you out. Yeah, freedom, eh? Well, Tony from London says, you speak from your own truth. Thank you for your answer. Power to you. Tony, I try and speak from an objective truth. I try and, I don't speak about things because it's like what I think, what I think the truth is. I speak about things because that's what I deep down think the truth is, and deep down know what the truth is. That's what I try and do. Being wrong 1,000 times. Well, you know what? I don't think we have to go through that process. You know what? Because if you stumble on the right kind of information, then hopefully you won't have to go down the new age stuff. And I've got people that I work with that recently woke up. They woke up during COVID. And they found me like straight away. So they didn't go down the... this is what I mean. There's so much information out there that you need to just find the right information. And when you're shadow banned, like I am, and other people that are, speaking similar things, then it's difficult. They're quite... The new... I mean, David Icke's not shadow banned. What's his latest upload? 98,000 views. You're telling me that they're trying to shut him up? 98,000 views. Right, this is someone that he says he's censored. Oh dear. What do you think about... Okay, I reviewed him. He thinks that we're here learning lessons. I mean, he's got a cult following that are very, very brainwashed. And I'm like, are you listening to his dump in the punch bowl? He's telling you that you're here learning lessons. He's telling you that this is a cycle of learning and all that nonsense. Amongst other... I mean, you go straight on these videos, he's got a monarch butterfly slapping you in the face. I mean, he's telling you he's mind controlling you just by this symbology. But his cult, they won't listen to anything. They will not listen. If you go to the comments on that video, that guy is a cult leader. And they go, oh, he debates everyone, right? I said, all right, ask him to debate me. Wouldn't debate me. Wouldn't touch me with a barge pole. And all his fans, because that's what they are, that's how they act. He debates anyone. He'll debate you. All right, I'm up for it. Let's do it. Wouldn't do it. Yeah, he's missing... I mean, he was in prison, wasn't he? He's like... Yeah, see, I don't agree with Howdy Mikowski about that you cannot look for the truth because you don't know what to look for. In a way, I find that quite deceptive because we can know the truth. The truth wouldn't, it wouldn't exist if we couldn't know it. I'm not saying it is deceptive, but it could be deemed as deceptive because if you take on the belief that you can't look for the truth, that stops you in your tracks. You don't go any further. I would never say that you cannot look for the truth because you don't know what to look for. When did you realise the light of death is a trap? I heard about the concept a few years back, but I was at the time heavily involved with finding out about entities and chakras and all that stuff, the metaphysical interference. So it didn't have my attention. That came later. But as soon as I heard it, it resonated. I knew that was the truth. I knew that was what was going on without even looking at one NDE. It just, when you just know something, I'm like, yeah, that I definitely feel that's happened. Yeah, he has a lot of fun. Yeah, he's telling a lot of truth. That's what they do. It can be up to 90% truth, even 95% truth before there's a rug pull and a dump in the punch bowl. Yeah, I have the course as well if you want to learn how to do all the etheric stuff, the clearing stuff. That's all on my website. Yes, I am. But it's a community as well. So there's like-minded people like yourselves in there, and we all, we get together normally once a month. But I've had a break for a month. Archaic is convinced. Yeah, convicted rapist. Yeah, that's what I heard as well. Yeah, when Mark put him on his show, I didn't like that either, I must say. What do you think of NDEs? Oh, I've done countless reviews of them. If you go back on the channel, they're deceptive. They're essentially, the bottom line is they're trying to get people to believe that when you die, it's all love and light. You're going to be met by loving beings, and you don't have to worry about anything. But they're having false experiences. They're experiencing these fake heavenly realms. They're being love bombed. So they come back down and tell you that it's all wonderful. So when you die, or when you're about to die, you think, well, I don't have to worry about anything because, it's all going to be okay. Yeah, Eric Dubay. I've got a lot of time for Eric Dubay. Eric Dubay. Sorry, Eric. I know sometimes he watches some of my stuff. He's done incredible work down the years on flat Earth. Very intelligent. Really a big admirer of Eric's work, and I'd love to collaborate with him. We've been in contact, but he was busy at the time. Maybe in the future we can do something together, and just thrash it out, have a chat. So Eric, if you're watching and you're not busy anymore, reach out. Hi from Scandinavia. Where are you from and what you like to talk about on your channel? Is that a question? Hi Scandinavia. Where in Scandinavia? Sweden, Norway, Iceland, Finland, Denmark? What would you say is Ike's dump in the punch bowl? Well, at the moment it's leading you back into appealing to authority, protests. He's on the front line of protests, begging, petitions, which is a huge dump in the punch bowl. It doesn't matter. All the work that went before him doesn't matter. Right now, he's looping you back in to appealing to government. And he also gatekeeps certain topics, doesn't go into certain topics. All of Eric's videos have been nothing but the truth, yeah. I remember a few years back, I wasn't quite ready for the flat earth thing. And when I stumbled across Eric's, I thought it was like kind of a, I don't know, a distraction, or, you know, I didn't, you know, like I didn't see the importance of, like, I used to say, well, what does it matter? But it does matter. It matters a lot because it's the biggest lie. And I remember when Eric was coming out with all this stuff, I must admit at the time, I was like, oh, is there not more like important things to talk about? But now I see it. And yeah, I have great respect for Eric's work. And like I say, if you haven't looked at his work, I highly recommend it. And if you haven't been down the flat earth rabbit hole, then he talks about other things as well. Talks about gravity being a lie, evolution being a lie, dinosaurs. So yeah, I could listen to his videos all day, no problem. I don't learn anything from Howdy for some reason. He's very confusing with the idea that it's not real, but we're also not real, and I don't get that part. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's certainly we can know the truth. I mean, for sure. Otherwise, what's the point in all of this? Does the Mandela effect give us a clue as to the makeup of the reality? Yeah, I think they've done something with timelines and glitches, and yeah, that's another rabbit hole, isn't it? Anyway, guys, I'm running out of gas here. It's like 8:30 at night. This is maybe the longest stream I've ever done. I could go for hours and hours, so but I wanted to do this because it's been a while since I put out any information. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. But thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like and share and everything like that. And you know, all my work's on my website, transcendingtimes.org. Thank you for the people that donated today. I really appreciate that so much. And remember, every time you smile, a reptilian goes hungry. How do I turn this off? How do I turn this off? You might be here a while, guys. Trying to turn this off. Press that. Ah, okay. Bye now.